Yes. Okay.
Okay, welcome, greetings. It is good to be here. My name is Michael, and my co-host is Susie Jones, and we're here to help support you in your publishing journey wherever you might be, and we're all at different places, and there's no competition. We are where we are, and I like to think of it as working as a team. We're here, we're learning and support. We're all teachers and students to each other. So I'm just going to share a little about my publishing journey and my background and how I got here, and then we'll take it from there. So I have been pursuing publishing for easily 18 years, maybe more, but and I really worked on pursuing traditional publishing, where you find a large publisher. And 18 years ago, there was no email. It was all you had to send a self-addressed stamped envelope and send your query in, and months later you get something in the mail that says yes or no. And but I really worked on it. I started a writing group. If you want to take your writing to the next level, join a critique group. Oh my God, like that really, as soon as I did that, it was like the universe said, okay, he's serious now. I started getting writing jobs. A lot happened when you join a regular writing group. And I sent I was mostly working on children's books, and I sent in my query letters and my manuscripts, and I came very, very close to getting traditionally published. There were a few literary agents. There were 3 literary agents that really loved one of my short picture books for little kids. And one woman said it was sitting in her maybe pile for 6 months. And it turns out you really need to have 3 amazing manuscripts for kids' books for them to take you on. So I had one amazing one, and others weren't quite good enough. So I came very, very close. And then at one point, I don't know, maybe 5 years ago or 6 years ago, a small press was interested in one of my books, Mango Press. And that was exciting. But I ended up turning them down. It was a very tough decision, but it just didn't feel right. It just, for whatever reason, my gut was saying, no, this is not the company for me. So if you don't know, traditional publishing is very, very difficult. It's like winning the lottery. My rough estimate is it's like 1 in 8,000. So, oh, Sue. So I came super close. And then at a certain point, about 2.5 years ago, I started embracing self-publishing. And there were a few things that put me over the edge, but one of them in particular was I read a post from someone somewhere on Facebook, and someone said, yeah, I'm going to self-publish. Let's let the readers decide. And I was like, yeah, let's let the readers decide. Why am I giving my power to these gatekeepers? And there was excitement and kind of a giddiness, and I was like, yeah. And I realized in that moment that I had been almost worshiping kind of the decision makers at these companies. And I tell you, there are not many of them. There's probably, my rough guess is maybe there's 700. There's a few hundred literary agents and probably a few hundred acquiring editors. I'm just guessing, I could be wrong. But I realized, why am I, it's just a few hundred people, even less. Why am I doing this? And so I started to embrace self-publishing, and I got more and more excited about it. And then I was working on my big book, Michael's big, my magnum opus, my creme de la creme of, my life's work. And at the end of last year, I'm nearly finished with it. It's a book about breaking the rules and being spontaneous and breaking through fears by taking 180-degree turns and being playful. Like one time I was really worried about money and how am I going to make money, and I ended up giving some money away. And it was totally counterintuitive, but it broke through all my fears. So that's what this big book is about. And at the end of last year, I was nearly done, and I'm like building it up. Okay, I'm gonna self-publish my life's work, my big book. It's almost done. And then I was like, I don't really know that much about self-publishing. Gosh, how do I, this is my big baby, but I don't know too much about it. And there was all this pressure. And then I finally thought, let me just publish something small, something bite-sized, something that I'm not too attached to. And so, let me find it. Hold on. Okay, I'm closing your website, Susie, for now. There we go. And so I just thought, oh, how about a gratitude journal? I could publish a gratitude journal. And this book went from idea to published in 3 weeks. I don't necessarily recommend that for everyone, but it was a powerful experience for me. And there was no pressure. It was like, if whatever happens with this happens, and I'm not attached. And this is my book to just learn how to do it, to make all the mistakes. And then once I've gotten the ropes learned on this book, then I can come back to the other projects. So, but this book, I didn't tell anybody about it. You can see it was published originally on February 11th. And originally I was just gonna have a pen name, and it wasn't really that good at first. But I've since revised it, and I've revised it a few times, and I've changed the cover, and I'm happy with it. People are buying it for gifts for the holidays. And people are genuinely like sending me notes saying, wow, this is a really powerful practice. And so I have deeper messages coming, but for what this is, I'm proud of it. And it's really, it's turned into something I'm happy with. So, and Susie just, this, I gave Susie a little lesson a few weeks ago, and she's like, oh, this was so wonderful. So why don't we do this for more people? So that's how I got here. And I don't know, the universe has a way of just opening doors, and I'm saying yes. And so here I am. But I'm going to dive into a lesson on KDP, but any comments, questions about what I've shared so far? You can put them in the chat. Okay, good. We can make this interactive. I'm open to just questions. And some of us, I know Sue has published, some of us have already published. So we're here to learn from each other. Okay, Susie, did you have anything you wanted to say?
No, I was just going to say unmute yourself if you want to talk.
Oh, okay, yes. Okay. All right, so let's see. So I'm assuming that everyone here is pretty much, as in Susie's words, a cold stone beginner. And if you're not, that's okay, but this is a true beginner's lesson. And I don't think I would feel comfortable if it wasn't, because I'm teaching kids how to publish their own books. That's another thing that's kind of just come about. I figured I can do it. And so I'm comfortable teaching kids how to publish a book, and beginners. I'm not the right person for an advanced lesson, but here we are, beginner's lesson. So let's see.
Yet.
Yes. Thank you for that. All right. Oh, that's not what I want.
Michael, there's a question. Did you have to purchase your own book from Amazon?
You do. Basically, you can buy author copies, which is basically as cheap as it gets just for the price of printing. I think mine are something like $2.18 or something. Mine is a pretty thin book. And then, if you buy more, then shipping is a little bit less. A few times I've bought it just as if I'm a customer to sort of see what happens. Sometimes there's a reason to do that. If I've changed the cover, then they might have a couple of copies of the old cover sitting around, and I'm like, I don't want anyone to get the old cover, so I'll just buy out their stock. So, sometimes you just buy it. But, you can buy author copies. And before you're even published, you can get a proof copy, which I did not do. A proof copy just to see before it's published, just to see how it looks and make sure it looks right. But I didn't do that with this journal. I just threw caution to the wind. I just hit publish and went for it. But I don't necessarily recommend doing that. I do recommend ordering a proof copy just to see.
And Michael, another question.
Sure.
Once it's on Amazon, can it be bought in any country?
That's a good question. Not everywhere. And you can sort of choose. You choose your main country. Like I'm in the United States. And then you have some choice. We'll get to that. I'll show you, but you have some choice. But it's not available everywhere. And certainly there's no automatic translation. Okay, let's see. Okay, so Amazon is by far the biggest platform for self-publishing, by far. It's not the only one. There's Barnes and Noble, there's Kobo, there's for digital books, there's Apple Books and Google Play Books and a few others, but somewhere over 70% of all books are sold on Amazon. So it's kind of the place you want to be. And people do have mixed feelings about Amazon. I do. I know Monty Pureheart has expressed how, he has some resistance to Amazon, and I totally understand it. I don't think Jeff Bezos and all of them have the best values, and they've put out a lot of people out of business. In getting my book, I've gotten it's now selling in about 5 retail stores, and I've actually gone into retail stores, and a lot of the owners have sort of lamented Amazon. So they don't have the best values, but I just figure my intention is to do good. And, if our intention is to do good, even in a corporation that doesn't do good, that wins out. So you don't have to publish on Amazon, but it's the place to be if you want to sell books. Okay, so you're going to need, I say that because you're going to at least need an Amazon account. So you set up your basic shopping account, and then Yeah, I think you type in how to sign up for KDP or something like that. You'll end up here or something that's almost like this, kdp.amazon.com. This is the US site. It's probably -EU, I would guess, for the UK site. Canada, it's pretty easy to find this. Self-publish ebooks and paperbacks for free with Kindle Direct Publishing and reach millions of readers on Amazon. Go to market fast. Publishing takes less than 5 minutes. So we could publish a book right here. So you end up here, and then you basically, sign in, or it's been a while, but I think it says set up an account. And it was fairly simple. They ask for, at least in the United States, you have to link up your bank account. I don't know how it is in the UK, but in the United States, we have checks, and there's usually two numbers, an account number and a routing number, and you link up, because they need to be able to pay you. So you link that up and you set up your tax information. And it wasn't overwhelming. I don't remember, but it was fairly simple. And you set up an account. And then there's these four main, any comments, questions at the moment? Feel welcome to put them in the chat, or I'm not really checking the chat. So Susie,
Yeah,
thank you.
I'm on the chat, Michael. No questions, really.
Okay. So you end up here. It's a very clean interface. There's four main tabs at the top: bookshelf, reports, community, marketing. So I'm going to go to bookshelf. This is my bookshelf. I think of this as the home page. I don't know quite how others think of it, but to me, this has become the home page. It's where all your books are listed. Publish a new title by clicking create, or manage your existing titles. So these are the three versions of my book. This is kind of the behind the scenes of how they're published. Some people have, many books. They would all be here. So I have a Kindle version. That's the ebook version, which I didn't think I was going to be allowed to do it, but I contacted them because my book is very interactive. You write in it, and it's a journal. And I emailed them and I asked them, could I make a Kindle version if I made it very clear, if I changed it, if I said, you don't have to write in this, and the person who I spoke to their supervisor, and they said, yeah, I guess you could do that. So I have a journal that's out there where instead of writing, I have it more about visualizing. Instead of writing things you're grateful for, you kind of visualize them. So that's tip number one, is ask them questions. They're very, very reachable. I'll probably say a little more about that. Then I have the paperback version, and then the hardcover. Then I have a few drafts. And you can learn so much by creating a draft. I'm going to encourage you to create a draft, but there's a few stipulations. You can't delete them. So I found this out the hard way. At first I was like, oh, I'll just create a bunch of drafts. But once you do, you can't delete it. And I think it has something to do with the ISBN number, which is the kind of like the social security number that gets attached to your book. So, maybe you don't want to go wild with creating drafts, but maybe just create one. So it's pretty simple. You go up here and, you would hit create. Let's see, create. Yeah, then you choose, I haven't done this in a while. Then you can choose, are you creating a paperback, hardcover, Kindle Vella? I think those are short stories. Series page, I'm not sure what that is. Collect your books together and build a oh, that must be after you've have a series of books. Okay. You know, they make this pretty user-friendly. I got to admit, it's by far the most user-friendly, actually. Okay, so here's one of my drafts. So you get a draft started, and then, oh wait, I want to go a little slower. Then there's these 3 dots at the side. These 3 dots are your friend. You're gonna go to this first one, or I'm gonna go to this first one, edit paperback details. So then this is now you're in the field where you're working on a specific book, and maybe even a specific kind of book. This is the paperback and of a specific book, but you can still see these 4 main tabs at the top. So the first tab of this specific book or this specific draft is paperback details, and a lot of it's pretty straightforward. Choose your paperback's primary language. Okay, so I'm teaching kids how to publish a book. So this is kind of what I showed them, and I'm calling it, make a book. Make a book test for kids. As long as it's a draft, you can change pretty much everything. I'm not sure you can change the ISBN number, but you can change everything else. So keep it in draft. But a lot of these fields, once you've published, are unchangeable, and there's some things that are changeable. Now that my book is published, there are some things I can change and some things I can't, and we'll get to that. Okay, subtitle is optional. I was kind of surprised, but kind of want a subtitle. Okay. Series, if your book is part of a series, add series details so readers can easily find the titles. So it's too early for this for me, but I have seen authors make a series when to me it didn't even look like a series. Like this one fellow. Was that a question?
No, it was just somebody joining, Michael.
Okay, fine. So this one fellow has several nonfiction books, and to me they look totally unrelated, but he's calling them a series. So I don't know. There might be some advantages to creating a series.
Can I ask a question, please?
Yes.
How did you go about buying your ISBN numbers?
So in the United States, there's a place called Bowker, and that is the only legitimate place you can get them in the US. I'm not sure about the UK, so forgive me about that. I just don't.
That's fairly simple as well.
Okay.
Yeah. And
okay.
M. Kirk has said you can't transfer ISBNs between books, and the answer's no.
You can't. They're very expensive. A friend and I were gonna, at first we were like, okay, let's buy 10 and you get 5 and I get 5, and I'm no go. In Canada, they're free. So go figure. I don't know. But it's crazy expensive here, and the pricing is really strange. It's you kind of either buy 1 or 10 basically. So I went with well, I'll get to that on the next page. I went with a free ISBN for the paperback, but I did buy one for the hardcover. So the short advice is it's much better to buy your own ISBN. It gives you more freedom, and you can then create your own imprint basically. So for my hardcover, I've called it Luminous Living Media. So that's like the publishing company, but for my soft cover, it just says something like independently published or something, something kind of generic. But there are other benefits to having your own ISBN number too. So, but if you're doing like I did, where you're just testing it out and doing something that you're not too attached to, and you don't want to spend one of your precious ISBNs, then you can get a free one from Amazon or from some of the other sites. Okay, edition number, mine is just number one. Then there's little help things. An edition is a particular version of a book. Okay, that's pretty self-explanatory. Author, it is okay to use a pen name. When the kids in my class finally go to publish, I'm going to have the adults publish it, but under a pen name as the kid, using the kid's name as a pen name. Contributors, that's if you have a co-author or someone that wants to be listed. Make sure you check if they want to be listed. I helped a fellow publish his book like 7 or 8 years ago, and he listed me. It would have been nice if he had given me a heads up. It's not a big deal, but like if you dig into my name on Amazon, I'm like, oh, I'm a contributor on his book. So anyway. Okay, description. So this, let's see, if I switch tabs, do you now see my book?
Yeah.
Okay, so the description field is this. What people read. Do doubts and negative thoughts weigh you down? Give yourself the gift of a daily practice which uplifts your mood and creates a miracle mindset. So all of this I wrote. This is the, kind of the copy, the sales pitch for my book. And you write it in this field. This is something that's very changeable. After your book is published, you can go back in and change this. You can format it. So this is a horrible book. Please don't buy it. Buy Susie Jones's book instead. So I could put that in my description if I really want. But you can well, I mean, it does go through. You got to be a little careful. They have software that checks everything. You can't put a URL in there. You can't do any. I'm just being funny, but you're technically not allowed to put testimonials right in there, but I actually did, but inadvertently, and I got away with it for a while. So anyway, but you can format this. So if you see on mine, it's kind of bold, and then I have in 60 days, you will learn. So that comes because of, formatting it in here. You highlight what you want, and then you can kind of format this to a different header or italics and all of that. So I definitely recommend playing with that. And this is really important. If you're not good at writing this, peruse other books in your genre, emulate the bestsellers, write it, rewrite it. You want to be short and succinct and share the benefits of your book. This is these are a few really important paragraphs that you're going to write. People spend weeks and months getting this right. One thing you might do is for fans of the Hunger Games or whatever, for fans of Deepak Chopra's book, you will like this. Or if you're a fan of Abraham Hicks, you will also enjoy, that something like that. A comparison grounds people in your book, or hitting the problem that your book is going to solve. Like, do you worry about your pet and their mood? Well, this is, Psychic Animal Communication 101 is going to teach you how to unravel the mysteries and communicate with your pet in 5 easy steps, or whatever. Kind of hit what's the problem your book is going to solve. So this is an important field. Okay. Publishing rights. I own the copyright. Okay. Keywords. So this is like search engine optimization, SEO, if you're not familiar with that. So this is kind of the behind the scenes. This is if someone is on Amazon and they're typing in, gift books for spiritual people. I don't know. Okay, it comes up with what's so spiritual about your gifts. Okay, I don't know. Okay, God's gifts. So you're trying to kind of guess what people are searching for, emotional well-being books. Let's see what we get. Ooh, permission to feel, the power of emotions. I can't see, it's a little blocked, but so that's what you want to put in this section. You want to go for the keywords that people are searching for. And people spend money trying to figure out what these keywords are. People spend weeks. I've changed mine. You can change these. I've experimented. Oh gosh, we have 30 things in the chat. Are we missing anything? Or is that all? Hello. I just realized if there's any questions, Susie, get my attention, because once I get rolling,
Yeah, I am actually going to interrupt you.
Okay.
It's a question about ISBNs, and also, is there a need for barcodes?
There is. If you go with the free, okay, let's see. We'll get to that on the next tab, but I think if you go with the free ISBN from Amazon, it generates a barcode for you. If you have your own ISBN, then you have to generate your own barcode, and it's fairly simple. I did it for my hardcover. So that's a great question. Let me remind me again, and we'll get back to that. So my only tips about these keywords is you want something long. They call it a long tail keyword. So I've done something like, gratitude journal for women, or gratefulness journal for peace of mind, things like that, because the phrase gratitude journal is just, it's taken, it's too big. So you really want to be specific. And there's a site called Publisher Rocket where I think they generate, that you have to pay for, and they generate keywords. I don't know. I don't feel like paying for keywords, but another way to look for them is how many results you're getting. So emotional well-being books, if you look in the top left, it says 1 through 16 of 1,000 results, which is not that many. So this is a decent, let's see, emotional well-being for women. Let me just see. Oh, okay, that has only 778 results. So it may seem like a lot, but that might be a pretty good phrase for women over 50. Let me try that. 16 results. So that means, I believe, if you were to put in here, emotional well-being for women over 50 as one of your keywords, you would have a high chance of someone finding your book in a search for that particular key phrase. So that's one tip. Let's see. Do I have any other tips? There might be some rules about, I'm not sure if you can put other, I need to check on this. I'm not sure if you can put the titles of other books. I don't believe you can, but I'm not 100% sure on that. So, but that's changeable, At one point, I might even still have this. I had, gratitude journal for teenagers or teenage girls. That was one of mine. But if you just have, gratitude journal, oops, it's well over 10,000 results. I think it's even more than that. So that's why oh, this is another thing. Okay. You see how it pulls down gratitude journal with prompts, gratitude journal notebook. Amazon is guessing what you want to search for. So that's another way to look for keywords. There are many ways, and I think there's many theories, and some people even spell it wrong, like gratitude general or something like that. Because people accidentally type it wrong, but I don't really recommend that. But who knows, you might be able to rank for emotional well-being or something like that, but who wants to do that? You just got to trust people are going to spell it right. Okay, moving on. So that's keywords. Categories. Let me go back to mine. Oh, and this, I don't know if this is helpful, but I downloaded this this thing called Self-Publishing Titans, which gives me other suggestions. It was what do they call it? Not an app, an extension, I think, or a Chrome extension. So it's a free thing that helps generate keywords. It's an idea. Like I said, there's many ways to generate keywords. Okay, so categories. I'm going to go down to see all details. So my book is currently number 968 in journal writing self-help, 5,003 in happiness self-help, 11,499 in personal transformation self-help. So at one point I did an unboxing of my book, and I sold a bunch, and I think it got down to like number 21 in journal writing self-help. So it's, you can see your ranking. But here's the thing. So this is where you choose your category. And this is changeable. I think I mentioned that. So you choose, you pop up, it pops up category, let's look at nonfiction. Let's say you've written a Bible. Okay. So I don't know, maybe you've written about the Bible. Maybe you haven't written a new Bible. Then, you can get very specific. Children, if I wrote a book, by the Bible for little kids or whatever, then I would click that. Oh, okay. You can only, here you can only select 2 at a time here. So I would have to unselect. This is just my draft. We're just in my draft here. I would have to unselect these categories and choose a new one. So here you can only choose 2. But not everyone knows this, but you can actually choose up to 10 categories. And how you do it is you actually email them. Let's look at that. I'm going down to contact us at the bottom. And then you end up on this page. So they're very accessible. I mean, let's face it, we bring traffic to their site. So, they're making this pretty easy. So this is how can we help? Let's see. There was a place about categories. I forget exactly where it is. Manage your books. Anyway, but you choose your topic, and then you end up here. You can either email them, you can call them, which I have not done yet, or you can have a live chat, which I did do. And I definitely recommend, if you've got a burning question, it's been helpful every time I've emailed them. At one point I asked about, I have these little hummingbirds on my cover, and I was like, I got the license for these hummingbirds and I want to make sure. And they were like, yes, it's okay to use hummingbirds. Or at one point I was going to I changed the subtitle on my cover. It actually, I think it's still changed. Let me open another tab. Yeah, there's sort of my official subtitle that I typed in, but then I've used a different subtitle on my cover, and I asked if that was okay. And the person had to ask their supervisor. And they finally said, as long as your main title is somewhere on there, you can put other stuff on there. So, there are some rules. You can't have a URL on your cover, but you have a lot of freedom. So that's what I'm doing with this first book. I'm making all the mistakes and I'm seeing what freedom I have, and I'm rather unattached. So I do recommend this. If you were like me and you've built up, your big project and it's your baby, write a short story, write a workbook, do something small on Kindle, 2,000 words, 7 steps to meditation or whatever. And you will learn so much from writing a short, simple book. And then you're in. Okay, where was I?
Michael,
Yes.
on here, you've got a whole list of the places that Amazon publish from. So I think it was you, Kathy, that asked that question, wasn't it? So Germany, France, Spain, Italy, Netherlands.
Yeah.
And then so you've got a whole pile of people there that
Where are you looking on my
answers to common questions further down.
Oh.
Yeah, most of my clients are either America, UK,
Yeah.
or Australia. So I would want any book I publish to be available in all 3 of those countries.
Yeah. So that's where you are now. There we are.
Oh, I see. Oh, if you republished your book and want to
Yeah.
view the latest version on your Kindle, please contact. Oh, yes. Go ahead, Susie.
I can't see AU there at all, though. That's strange, isn't it? Australia, but they do it. I'm pretty sure, Kathy.
Yeah, I think whatever I've clicked might be about my ebook. Like my ebook is available in different places than the paperback.
Right.
So yes. So the only tip I have when you do contact them is you want to be as clear and specific as you can. And you're going to include your ISBN number and, try and save up your questions, basically. You don't want to bother them all the time. Okay, maybe we'll come back to that, but contact them if you need to. Okay. Oh, this is what I was saying, is you can add more categories. So you have 2 to choose from right here, but then somewhere in the contact us, I forget, there's something about adding more categories. And there are almost these hidden categories. Hold on, I gotta. In that drop down, when you're choosing your category, they don't list all of them. So you might look at other books. These are all ads, by the way, if you didn't know. If it says sponsored, that's an ad. So let's just see. I'm looking at this other one. Going to all details. So I don't know, people do stuff that is out of integrity with these categories. Like, this is #1 in philosophy aesthetics. Does that make any sense? I don't know. I've seen people. So you have some freedom with Amazon, but I don't recommend like wildly breaking the rules. Like I've seen some weird stuff, like a book on gardening under kids books or something like that. So you can kind of get away with that because they just have some software checking a lot of this, but I don't recommend going totally wild. But you do have some freedom. And so my point is that some of these categories that you might see, you don't see them listed here, but when you contact them, and there's a very specific way to even get it added. Let me see if I can even remember how to do it. Let's see. Gosh, it's you find this category path. I think maybe, so gratitude journal, then books. Okay, this is kind of it. Then you go down to here. So I just typed in gratitude journal, then books, then I don't know, business and money. Then you can see on the far left, then it's narrowing it down, the category. Invest. Okay, I'm not in gratitude journal. I don't know where I am at the moment, but then these are all the categories of books. So let's see, insurance. And then it gets even more specific. So let's say you were writing a book on health insurance. I have the feeling that category is not listed here, but it does exist. So then you can email Amazon and say, please add my book to health insurance, 21 ways to save on your health insurance or whatever, if that's your book. And you want to add it to this category, that helps people find it. And so there are, these obvious categories and then the hidden categories. And you can add up to 10. Okay, so then, does your book classify as a low content book? And I think they just funneled my book into low content because it has some blank pages, and I'm actually planning to email them and come up with a little bit of a rebuttal and say, I beg your pardon, but this is not low. This isn't. I'm going to see if I can get them to change my category, because that might actually open some doors for me. But if it happens, it happens. Large print. Okay, mine's not large print. Okay, adult content. No. Okay. So then, once you've gone through all this, save and continue. Okay, now we're on the second tab, paperback content. So this is where you either choose a free ISBN from Amazon or you use your own. And I guess I already, for this draft, looks like I already chose the free ISBN. I don't know if that can be changed now in this draft, because it's already been assigned. So I didn't know that, but anyway, it doesn't really matter so much. But if you have your own, then you would enter it here. And here is where I entered my imprint. This is what I registered with Bowker, Luminous Living Media. So on my hardcover, this is what I did. And that's how it'll show up. So let's just see. Let's look at this real estate investing. Clyde Media LLC. So this, I have no idea if this is a big publisher or not, but that's what they had to put right here. And sometimes it makes you look really big, you know, even though you're just you. But it adds some legitimacy, and you can maybe have a little imprint logo if you want. So that's ISBN. And boy, ISBN numbers, man, I'm going to say 80% of my questions have been about ISBN numbers. It is the most difficult thing to understand about this whole process. And I don't want to steer anyone wrong, and I don't know everything there is to know, but all I know is it makes it easier if you buy your own ISBN. That's my main piece of advice. I have seen so much conflicting advice about if you choose the free ISBN or not. Some people say, you know, if you choose the Amazon free ISBN, then you can't publish anywhere else. You can only publish on Amazon. And other people say, no, that's not true at all. And it's very difficult to get a clear answer from, let's just say there's another company called Ingram Sparks. If you email Ingram Spark or Amazon and ask them, and I've done this, about using their free ISBN, you will get the vaguest responses. Like, I'm like, can I use the free ISBN elsewhere? And they beat around the bush because they don't want you to go elsewhere. They just don't. So anyway, I don't have all the answers with ISBN numbers, but I do know it's best to buy your own. Okay.
Can I add something? Viv was asking about the British Library, and she found the website, which is actually in the chat. I will.
That's where to buy them in the UK?
Well, this is where you actually sort of put your book. You send a copy of each title you publish to the legal deposit office at the British Library.
Okay.
But if you want them to take it, you have to pay, I think it's about £50, something like that, when I did my research on that one.
Okay.
So I think you just send a copy of your title, not a copy of the book, but I might be wrong.
Okay. Okay. Good to know. Okay, moving on. Publication date. Enter the date on which your book was first published. Leave this blank if you were publishing your book for the first time. I just left it blank. I guess if you're republishing it, that's what you might do. Okay, print options. So, you know, I had fun with this process. It's like, you know, what my next book is going to be a book about parents connecting with their baby's spirit, and there's going to be some illustrations in it. So I actually am going to do color for the interior, but for my gratitude journal, I just did black and white. This cannot be changed after your book is done. So choose wisely. I don't know about cream paper. I have no idea. I don't know. I just went with sort of the most standard. Then this is where you choose the size of your book. They call it the trim size. Choose this very carefully. I really did a lot of research. This is the first iteration of my little book. I did order a proof copy, but I did it at the same time that I published it, so it doesn't really count. So it says not for resale. But I figured, I did a lot of research, and my book, you write in it, so I wanted something a little bit bigger, you know, so you can choose the size. These are the most popular sizes. So I literally got a bunch of books off my shelf and just got a ruler, and you know, I wanted to feel how it was in my hand. So choose this wisely, and how it's gonna look on the shelf in a bookstore. I ended up, for mine, I chose 6.14 inches by 9.21 inches. And it's a little wider because I wanted people to be able to open it easily and write in it. But it's a little big. If your book is just, if you have a novel or something, I don't necessarily recommend this size for that. And then you can choose your own size, but I don't know. I mean, I think you're probably better off going with one of the standards. That's just my hunch. Because you want bookstore, you know, if you had some giant book or some weird shaped book, you know, they might be less likely to take it in a retail store. So choose wisely, trim size. Okay. Okay, bleed or no bleed. This took me a little while to understand. This is let's see, wait, I forget if this is for the, yeah, this is for the interior. This is, let's say you want some illustration, like it's a kid's book and there's a rabbit that's running off the page, and you want, you know, just their bushy tail to look like it's running off the page, then you would hit bleed. So it kind of changes the margins. So, you know, that just depends what you want. For the cover, do you want a matte cover or a glossy cover? I don't know. I wanted gloss. For my gratitude journal, I just went with glossy. I just want something that shines. But I've heard some people say that matte is more professional. I have no idea. No idea.
Can I jump in there and say that matte scratches and, and glossy doesn't? And that's the only commentary I have about it, because I would ordinarily choose matte, but I won't in a Kindle published book.
So does that mean, like, if you accidentally, you know, put a cup on it or something, it's more likely to ruin the cover on a matte?
I haven't done that, so I don't know the answer, but I got a book that was published. It cost about 30 quid actually, and the cover was already marked when I got it. So no,
okay,
not for me.
Good to know. Okay, moving along. Okay, this is where you upload your manuscript. Wow. Okay, so it can come in different formats. Mine were just in a PDF. And, you know, formatting your book is too big for this intro session, but Susie has learned, Amazon has a free formatting software called Kindle Create. And I think you spent a whole day, Susie, on it. We're learning it, correct?
Yes, and sometime next month, I will do the same thing that you're getting with Michael for manuscripts, so I can teach you how I've learned.
I really want to learn about formatting. Yeah. I did format my own book, but I didn't do it with Kindle Create. I did it in this outdated software because I needed to just get the images just right. It was I wouldn't say I was pulling my hair out, but it wasn't easy. It wasn't extremely hard. I've seen most people say I learned to format in a week or something like that. And I actually do recommend learning to format your own book, because if you pay someone to do it, then every time you want to make a change, you kind of got to pay them. And I have a friend who's just paid someone to do it, and they did a beautiful job where, you know, there's a certain font and little symbols and everything. But I'm like, every time she wants to make a small change, like for example, I have a list of resources at the back of my book, and I just added Susie's website to the list of resources. You know, come visit my friend Susie Jones, who's, you know, channeling Isis and all of that. So I made, you know, one or two small changes, but I don't want to have to go to a formatter just to do that. So it might be worth it to learn to format, but you don't have to.
I can include some of that next month then.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
good.
just a little. Okay.
But so then you formatted it, and it's in, you know, one of either a PDF or these other formats, and this is where you upload your book. So you find it on your computer and then you upload it. You know, it walks you through a lot of this stuff. Oh, always hit save draft, you know, if you've made a bunch of changes. Okay, then this is where you work on your cover. There's two different files. There's the interior and then there's the cover. And I did do my cover myself for this book, but that's just because I'm stubbornly doing it myself. I really do recommend getting a professional cover designer. But here you have two choices. You can use Amazon's software. I think they call it Cover Creator, yes. So let's look at this. You're more limited with their software. This is what I used at first. Let's see, what is this? Oh, the title in your KDP book listing is different from what is listed in Cover Creator. Would you like to use the title? I guess I changed the title when I was showing you that page, so it gave me a notice. So this is their Cover Creator. It's fairly user-friendly. Like, this is an image that I chose. The right is the front of the book, the middle is the spine, the left is the back. You know, it's fairly user-friendly, but you're limited with how you want to, with how you can do it. You can change the front, you can upload a different image. I chose this flower. You can choose a different color combination for the kind of the background color. You know, if you're on a budget and you just want to make it simple and you just are publishing your, you know, 15-page short story or whatever, or your 5-page Kindle ebook, you know, make it simple. It'll tell you if there's error messages, these little triangles. Most of the error messages are that it's outside of the borders. And you can actually, so you really want a high resolution image. That took me a while to kind of figure out. You can resize it. So if I were to approve it like this is what you see is what you get pretty much. You know, it would be a giant pink cover with a picture of a flower. Then it asks you to preview it. You know, it walks you through it. Let's see. So looks good enough for me. All right, save and submit. Some of this takes a while. There we go. Then you're back to here. Okay, then I always hit save. I don't know, I'm a saveaholic. You can change your cover as many times as you want. You can change the book's interior. I've probably done it, you know, 10 times now. But each time it does go through a review process. It doesn't change instantly. Then if you do have your own cover, then, oh, I guess I got this started. Oh no, okay, so this was not that hard either. You know, some of this is just medium tech, but you can download a cover template. You after you've chose the size of your book, and after you know how many pages it's going to be, then you can just search Amazon and you download a cover template, like, you know, a 5x8 book with 148 pages, and then it will, for free, they'll just email you this cover template that you use, that has the back cover, the spine, and the front cover. And you know that you need some software to really get that looking right. I think InDesign might be the most common software. I'm not sure.
Michael, you talked about unpublishing your book. Anas, do you have to unpublish it and then republish it every time you change something?
No, that's a great question. If I were to change my cover or change the interior, it would, and going back to my book, oh wait, hold on. Going back to my bookshelf, that's a great question. It would then say, let's say I changed the cover of my paperback. Instead of live, it would say something like changes are in review. And the older version is still live. So it's just, it is what it was, you know, the interior is what it was, but it's being submitted for the changes. And that's what I was saying at the very beginning, where let's say I change my cover or I change the interior, and they might have a few copies of it still sitting on their shelf. And so maybe I want to buy up those copies and get rid of the old version. But so that's a great question. The old version is still live. So that's not the same as unpublishing. You're just making a change.
And while I've got you there, Michael, Sue's
Yeah.
asking, can the cover creator figure out how thick your book will be?
Yeah, I think it automatically does that. I think I don't think you need to worry about that so much.
Okay.
Yeah, I
And
think that's only for if you have your own cover. Yeah.
and how many copies does Amazon keep on the shelf, or do you have to order
That I
them?
don't know. Okay.
No.
This is my rough guess. I think it has to do with how many you're selling. You know, if you're the new Tony Robbins or whatever, and you're selling a bunch, they probably have a lot sitting there. Me, I'm small potatoes. My best guess is they have a few sitting there, because a few times I bought it and it was like I got two copies of the new version and one of the old version. So I think it depends. You know, my sense is they just print a couple extra sometimes. It's a good question. It probably depends how many you're selling. So and at a certain, I'm at this point now where if someone gets my old cover, or if someone gets the version without Susie's URL at the back of my book, you know, I can't control that, you know, so be it. So be it. Okay.
And of course they print on demand. So
Yes, yeah. Originally I thought it was all print on demand. I was surprised to see that my book is sitting in some warehouse somewhere. Okay, I'm going to go back. So I'm going straight to edit paperback content. I think that's where we were. Okay. Oh. Where are we? Let's see. Huh. Did it erase? Feels like it erased my... No. I just want to go through the process, so I want to resave this. Okay, good enough, good enough. This is my new bestseller. A blank book with a flower on it. It's going to be climbing up the charts. Okay. Well, I don't know. Oh, I see. It's processing my file. That's right. Let's give it a moment to process my file, or a few moments. Okay. So while we're waiting for that, I'm going to invite everyone to just close your eyes for a minute. Picture your book is finished, or if you already have a book, your next book is finished. And picture it being of service to other people. Your book is out there. You've gone through all these steps that I'm showing you. Your book is out there. It's for sale. And it catches the attention of someone. Maybe they were just randomly surfing on Amazon, or maybe they saw you reading your own book at a coffee shop, or maybe they're a friend and they buy your book. And your book has just the message that they need at that time. Your book jumped out at them. It was like, whoa, something about the cover and the title, you know, maybe you're the person who wrote, 21 ways to save money on your health insurance. And wow, someone is like, my God, all these years, I could have been saving money. And so what would this person, imagine yourself getting a thank you letter or a thank you note, like an unsolicited testimonial from this stranger who's just read your book. In your most wildest dreams, what would you imagine this stranger saying about your book? What would be the most gushing, unsolicited testimonial you could receive? Picture it, really vividly feel it, as if you're telepathically connecting with this future reader. Wow, this book, whatever your topic is, maybe, using Susie as an example, Isis wisdom, or Kieran is going to be probably writing a book on emotions and embracing your emotions. Like, wow, this book touched my heart and has helped me blossom in ways I can't even begin to imagine. I cannot thank you enough. And this is an unsolicited testimonial you've gotten. Just make it vivid, make it real. Allow yourself to have this. It's not the future, it's now. It's in your heart of hearts. Because the way we write things, the energy with which we write things, the intention with which we write affects the way it's read. So you're embodying the heart of your book, even in this moment, just learning about the process. So make that vivid. And if you feel like sharing, write it in the chat. You could even make up a name like, wow, this gratitude journal has truly empowered me and made everything in my life come together. Signed, Michael J. Fox or whatever, or even just some unknown, Dave Smith. So write as a fun exercise, write your dream testimonial in the chat and share it. Let's see what everyone has to say. And meanwhile, oh, this is still processing. Sometimes it really does take a while. Maybe it doesn't like the changes I made. Let's see if I can launch my preview. So once you've written them in the chat, let's see. I really want to show you this preview window. Would anyone like to, if you've written it, would anyone like to share their dream testimonial? Barbara, go ahead. And maybe Susie, you can call on people.
I just posted because this is something I already started to get from people who had just read the synopsis that they found that my nightmarish tale of unparalleled abuse was an inspiration. But I also got threats. So my book is quite different than yours, Michael.
Okay, wait, I'm going to invite you just as an exercise to actually read the positive one as if it was in the voice of
Okay.
that reader.
Some of these people actually told me right to my face.
Okay,
so
good.
my what I want to hear from everybody is that I inspired them to tell their own stories of abuse and not to hide in fear of the attacks that someone would get. That's what I want to hear everybody say.
Excellent. Oh, thank you, Barbara. Okay, would anyone else like to share? And make it, like feel it, like this is how people really feel. Are you talking, Susie? I can't, if you're talking, you're muted.
Thank you. Yeah, Anne, I can't say your surname, my brain won't do it. Sorry. Hello, Anne. Can you want to share your message? No. Okay, I'll read it out then. Thank you so much for publishing this wonderful pitch book with its message of universal love, a forever book for my foster child to keep while she waits for her forever home. Oh, that's given me chills. That's beautiful.
Oh, Kathy, mind if I read yours out loud?
No, go for it.
Thank you. All my friends called me a bad mom because I encouraged my child in his communication with animals. Your book has validated for me and my son that this is a real thing and his talent will bring joy and love to the world. Ooh, that's awesome.
And Karen, can you read yours out? You're probably muted, sweetheart.
Yeah, my book, it's called Thoughts for a Peaceful Day, has done exactly that, turned a not so positive day into a fantastic day.
Yay, brilliant.
Good.
And Liz and Tony Baker. Can you speak, Liz?
Yes, thank you, Susie. My dream response would be, wow, Liz, your book has helped me to understand so many mystical and supernatural experiences I've had all my life. Thank you so much for helping me feel not so weird.
I love it. I love it.
Excellent stuff. Yeah.
Can you put that? Can you put a link to what you've been writing in the chat here? That's just resonating.
And Viv, can you share yours as well, please?
The storybook with neurodivergent characters has made my children feel validated and accepted.
Oh, that is a powerful message.
Absolutely. And Viv, I must link you with Sarah Semple, who's doing something very similar. Might be opportunity for collaboration in some way.
Perfect.
I'll do that for you. Yeah.
Thank you, lovely.
Okay.
Okay, so thank you for that. Thank you for that. Susie, are we doing a hard stop at 11:30 or in 9 minutes, or are we rolling?
Well, people are leaving as they need to leave, so
okay,
carry on, because whatever you're able to do.
Okay, because there's a little more I want to do. So
okay, and just before we go on this one, Kiran Patel says, would you like to just shout out, Kiran, please?
I've unloaded decades of emotional cargo and am living my life finally.
Beautiful. Thank you, Kiran.
Good.
So
okay.
Lovely.
Okay, so it got hung up in the processing. Sometimes when you upload a new version, it takes a while. So I am now, this is my hardcover and it's live. So I just wanted to show you this. Once you've uploaded your cover and your interior, then you launch this preview button. I mean, you hit this preview button. There we go. Okay. So this is as close as it's gonna look. And it will tell you on the left side if there's any errors. And I had when I first did it, I had a lot of errors with the margins. It was, you know, I thought it looked right to me, but it was too wide, and it'll tell you, and there'll be a little triangle or something. And I didn't really know what I was doing, but I just finally made the writing in my gratitude journal so small that I'm like, this has got to work. And it finally worked. And then there was a button. Sometimes it might say something like, some of your text is outside of the margins. Do you want Amazon to try and fix it? And there was I was like, yeah, please. And it did some automatic thing where it shrunk it, and that helped. So, you know, you've got to make sure there's no errors. It'll tell you, but this is pretty darn close to how it's going to look. And you can go through it. You're going to need to put the ISBN number on the front, and you really want to make sure this matches what you typed in. So even though I've changed my title, I've keeping the official title. Even though I've changed my title on my cover, I'm keeping the official title on this copyright page, because I think that's the rule. And you know, this is where you might have a little disclaimer or whatever. You know, I would recommend looking at other books and seeing what they did. This is my title page. This is all the interior. You know, the first couple of pages were the exterior. So this is that separate file. This is if I did the cover creator, this is what I would see, and then here's the interior. So I have really learned the importance of these early pages, because do you all know what the look inside feature is? You know, yeah, because that look inside, anyway, is important. People, that's up here. This is the look inside, and it shows a prospective buyer these first opening pages. I think I believe the default is 10% of your book, but if you'd like, you can email Amazon and ask them to show more of your book. And in some cases, that's a really good thing. But every time you make a change, it goes back to the default. But this is another opportunity. You know, if someone clicks that look inside, they're going to see these first pages. So I put another testimonial here. You know, I really worked hard on the intro to my book. So I think I got feedback on it. So, you know, keep in mind, this is going to be in the look inside. You can jump around from page to page. You don't have to click through. Like I could go to page 115 and hit enter. This is, okay. This is where I've asked for a review. And I have changed this page probably more than anything about the interior. If you enjoyed this book, please leave a review on Amazon or on social media. I've had many times when a book jumped out at me with just the right message I needed. Sometimes I think how cool it would be if my book did that for someone else. Your review is one way to help make this happen. So I'm going to encourage you to, in your own way, encourage people to write a review. And if you bought my book, thank you. And please leave a review. It really does make a difference. It's, you know, it affects the ranking on Amazon and affects people's decision to buy. It doesn't have to be long. It could even be 4 stars or whatever, you know. It could just be like, this is a great gratitude journal or whatever. It doesn't even really matter. So please leave a review. That would be really helpful. And how to get people to leave reviews, if you've cracked the code, let me know. Some people actually have this at the beginning of the book. I've been struggling to find the words to do that. Maybe at the end of the introduction, there might be a way, like once you've finished, please, I don't know. But I'm having trouble finding the words. If they haven't read my book yet, how can I ask them to leave a review? I don't know. We'll see. And then this QR code, if someone scans that with their phone, it goes directly to a page to leave a review. So that's, in your own words, you know, this is a good place to do that. Okay. Then finally you hit approve. Okay, wait, there we go. Then you're back here. Save everything. I'm a big saver. It tells you the printing costs right there. This is what I chose. This is not changeable. Bleed settings. Okay. Then I'm just going to go to the save and continue. This is the final, this is the final tab in the process. So here, select the territories for which you hold distribution rights. I don't fully understand all this, but I figured I got worldwide rights. So, you know, I think if you just want to limit it, you can limit it to certain areas. Primary marketplace, I'm in the US, so I chose that. This is where you can choose your price, or where you do choose your price. And then there is a button that will, like, so I chose my price in the US, and then you can click this button and then it'll give comparable prices everywhere. But I'm not sure that's so trustworthy, because I found out later that mine was very expensive in Australia. So I manually changed the price there. So I don't know. I don't know if you can always trust those conversion things. So this is the final tab. This is where you can order. What's that? Okay, if you have a question, let me know. If you're not, please mute yourself. This is where you order proof copies. At the very bottom, request printed proof copies of this book. So, and that takes a while. That can take like 2 weeks. A lot of this takes a while, you know, even when you go to publish, they review it. One time it took a week, or, you know, it goes through some review process. But it goes, I believe the review process is mostly software. You know, they're checking for things. They're checking, you know, if you put a picture of, you know, Mickey Mouse or Buzz Lightyear on your cover, it would be, no, that's proprietary. You know, it would not go through. There's a lot of, if you put a URL on the cover, if you plagiarize, you know, if I tried to republish, you know, William Faulkner and claim it as my own, it wouldn't go through. So I'm sure there's software that checks for almost everything, but I actually think, I could be wrong, but I think there is a person that gives it a final green light. You know, that's my sense. I don't know for sure. And it's checking, you know, to make sure you followed the rules. And then you hit publish. So I'm not going to do that because this one's already published. So let me go back to my bookshelf. A few other things. I wanted to show you this tab, the community tab. This is a place where just the Amazon app, you know, independent publishers are asking and answering questions, and you can search different topics, you know, general questions, you know, it's kind of the private forum. Marketing. I've definitely found some really good answers, and I even posted a question in here. I don't remember what my question was, but you know, there are some top people, whatever, I don't know what you call them, but top self-publishers that are happy to help. So this is a good forum, and there are a few others. I'm going to share some resources. But you want to be mindful. Some of these questions and answers might be really old. I forget how old this is, but it started out as Create Space. You know, it's at least 12 years old. So, you know, you want to be mindful if you're looking at a really old post, but this is a good resource. Oh yeah. Let me go back to the contact us. I'm not finding what I want to find, but there's a whole, I forget where it is at the moment. There's a whole resource that Amazon has. They have, maybe this is it. Here it is. I think this is it. This is Amazon resources, KDP Help Center, you know, frequently asked questions. And they even have their own YouTube channel, or KDP University. There's good stuff. I mean, there's definitely, you know, when in doubt, go to the source. And this is why it's so helpful to start a draft. You haven't published yet. You can learn so much just by being in draft mode. Oh, okay. So there's a lot of topics. I'm feeling like I want to wrap up soon, but there's just a few other things that I want to touch upon. A+ content. I want to show you what that is. Let's see. Any questions? How's everyone doing? Can you go a little longer until we...
One question here is, are there a specific amount of books to make the bestseller list or #1 bestseller? Do you know the answer to that, Michael?
Wait, say the question again.
Are there a specific amount of books to make the bestseller list or #1 bestseller?
Oh, #1 on Amazon completely? Or I don't know. I mean, I think if mine is ranked, there's different categories. There's bestsellers in the categories. So let's see. Bestsellers rank. Mine is number 549,148 in books. I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe that's where it is in all of the books on Amazon, I think. And then this is where it is in the certain categories. I don't know exactly.
Yeah, the only thing I can add to that, because I wasn't sure, Michael, if you knew better than me, was on Hay House, they somebody said that you actually have to buy your books, you know, like buy 100 books or whatever the number is yourself to actually make the bestseller. You buy the bestseller title, in other words. So
my purchases do not count towards ranking. They do everything they can to make it so you cannot game the system. People do, but no, that's not true at all.
Okay.
I mean, if I were to be sneaky and get all my Facebook friends to buy it, maybe that would work, but that goes against their terms of service. And if they find that out in some way, and Amazon and Facebook, they do communicate. So, you know, I'm just going to encourage you to follow the rules. You know, I've seen people, there are people, I think the people who are most in danger are these people who are publishing a bunch of very low content books. There are people that are publishing journals, journal for kids, fire truck journal, or journal for teenagers with butterflies and rainbows or whatever. And they're publishing hundreds of journals a week. They're the ones, I think, that are most vulnerable to getting shut down. And their accounts, I've been seeing people getting their accounts terminated. So, we're working on this, but you gotta follow the rules. So I wanted to show you this A+ content. That are these pretty pictures I've made here. This is really powerful, and not everyone knows how to do this. So this is, oh wait, this is under marketing. So we're over to the final tab, marketing. This is under A+ content. So, and I think, so you saw my description, that was in that description field, but this is your chance to make your page on Amazon as unique as possible. And you might, a lot of people, if you're not super tech savvy, you can create them in Canva, C-A-N-V-A. It's a free site where you can upload images and stuff. I think you have a fair amount of creativity with these. Like everything, it does go through a review process. You cannot put a testimonial on them. Although for a while I had one and I didn't know, and I got away with it, but then I found out later. So, I'm using it as kind of to highlight the benefits. In 60 days, you will learn this, this, and this. Other people get really creative. And I saw one person, they had an image where different ones came together and kind of like made three A+ content, they call them modules, came together and formed one big image. So you have a fair amount of freedom, and they'll tell you if it doesn't pass the mustard. So and I know one woman who self-published her book, and I think she's doing quite well, and she did not know about A+ content. Not everyone even knows about it. So in fact, a lot of the books don't have it. I was looking like at Abraham Hicks or Channeled Books, and they probably don't have time. The publishing company just doesn't have time to create it, I'm guessing. So it gives you a leg up. Okay, let me see. Wow. Okay, we still have some people here. All right. Let me just see. I feel we're at the end, but I had maybe a few other points I wanted to make. I'm just checking, make sure. Susie, did you have anything you wanted to share or add?
Just a moment. I've had a certificate. This is for the British people. Can you see can you see me? Because you'll need to be able to see it.
Yes.
So when
You can share screen. Oh wait, oh no, it's not your screen.
Yeah, no, I've got everybody, hold on a minute. I think I'm going to unpin you.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to pin myself just so the Brits can see this. Okay. So when you fill in about the taxes, because if you sell in America, you would be charged, but this is an exemption certificate that they will email to you once you've filled it in. That was the only country the taxation clause was in. So I don't know if that's helpful. Can you see that sufficiently?
Yeah, it's really helpful, actually.
Yeah, and if you buy ISBNs, this is my personal, these are my 10 that I bought in 2014, actually. And so what you do is you assign, the original one that you buy is assigned by them. And then when you've got your books that you want to publish, then you assign this, then you write onto that so that you know this is your record. obviously my paperwork from Nielsen's is pretty old and they have changed, but that is really easy. It's Nielsen, sorry, Nielsen. And if you do a Google search, you'll find that. And then there's a whole range of things you can do. You'll need to check out on this. I'll try and get that information for you for the next session. And even if you don't make the next session, I will send it to everybody that was here as well. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, I'm just putting a few resources in the chat. I don't want to overwhelm you, but these are a few that jumped out at me, some YouTube channels and some Facebook groups. These are some of the best ones that I've found. And some of the YouTube people, you know, YouTubers are a mixed bag, but some of them are very rah. But there is some useful information. And so those are some good channels. And if you're on Facebook, I think most of you are, those are some of the best Facebook groups. Wide for the Wind. That's if you want to publish not just on Amazon, but other places. 20 books to 50K. That's probably the best self-publishing group on Amazon. 20 books. The idea is if you publish 20 books and maybe selling 3 copies a day, you will be earning $50,000 a year. That's their theory. Writers and Healers, some of you came from that, self-publishing. Indie Cover Project, that's a place to post your cover and get feedback on it. So anyway, these are some good resources. And
there's a question here as well,
yeah.
Michael.
Yes.
Not sure what the A+ content was. Is it when you search what comes when you search?
No, those were those. Can I share screen? Let's see. Those were those extra. Those are these. So this is my, I don't know what to call this, my listing on Amazon.
Yeah.
You know, this is my book. This is the description, you know, then there's a ton that I can't control. Most 90% of this I can't control at all. These are ads, but then this is from the publisher. This is what the A+ content is. Right. It's almost like making it like a website. You know, if I didn't have used that A+ content, it would just go straight down to here.
And Michael, can you just show us where you got that again? I was
that was on the that's on this marketing tab.
Right. Okay.
So this is marketing. You can, there's a few options. This is too much to cover right now, but this is where you would set up your A+ content. Right. And you actually have to set it up for each location. Like, you know, the UK is different. So you know, this is why the publishing companies don't have time to do it. But I would at least recommend something simple. You know, you don't have to do as many as I did. You can start with something small. You know, make this bite-sized. Do it little bit at a time, but a graphic and some extra words.
I suppose you can do that while you're waiting for them to approve your book, can't you, really?
No, it has to be live. It has to, because yeah, how can you market a book that's not I'm pretty sure it has to be live.
Right. No, I meant you could fill the detail in, or do you have to wait until it's published?
I think it has to be published.
Right.
I mean, you can start to get it ready on your own, and they have. Okay, it's a good question, because these little, they call them modules. There's different ones. It'll be pretty self-explanatory. You have to learn how to make a photo the size that you want. And there were a few choices. Like I could have had a square photo, or, you know, a few different choices. It's relatively simple.
Brilliant, thank you.
Yeah.
Somebody asked me what the certificate was called. It's called the Certificate of Foreign Status of beneficial owner for United States tax withholding and reporting. That's a hell of a long title, isn't it? But if you want me to add that into the link that I send you, I will do that for you. But that comes automatically from KDP when you apply.
Okay, a few last minute things. I discovered recently, if I click this 13 ratings, it jumps right to the review section. And this is actually useful on your website. Like, let's say, you have it on your website, get my book here, and then you might have a link that says, see what people are saying or something like that. And you can link directly to the reviews.
Excellent.
Or you can link to your author page. This is, I don't know, it's not going, but anyway. So, there's a lot of basic things, and then there are more and more things to learn, and just take it one step at a time. But having published this first book, it's been a huge breakthrough for me. I mean, it may not be my breakout book, but wow, I can do this. We can do this. You can do this. It's easier than it's ever been to self-publish. And I'm having fun with it, and I'm learning so much. So I want to thank all of you for coming. I feel like I'm missing a few things. There's always more tips. Above all, oh, Margot is coming, and maybe she thought it started now. Oh, well. We will let Margot in. Above all, my sense is that this is a time of collaboration, and don't do it alone. I'm so grateful to have met you, Susie, and, little trades where someone else, maybe you have a list of resources at the back of your book, and those people help put the word out. So with my parenting book that's coming up, or my parent-child communication, I'm looking for, they call them joint venture partners, like companies that sell baby clothing or whatever. Those are going to be my partners that help put this out. Or with this gratitude journal, once I have a few more reviews, there's a place not far from where I live in California called Cafe Gratitude. I might contact them and see if they want a copy of the book. I don't know, but look for ways to collaborate. We don't have to go this alone, and make it fun.
And you've got 2 reviews on the way, Michael. There's me and Karen. They're only on day 4 and 3, so you're going to have to wait. But
thank you. And if anyone hasn't bought the book, and that's fine, I think in there I have a link to a very generous sample. Let's see.
Can you stop screen sharing so we can see each other, darling, please?
Oh, sure.
Thank you.
Let's see.
You've included it in your.
Oh, did I put it? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, good. So yeah, feel welcome. Thank you to get a free sample, and then I think you can still leave a review. It may not be a verified review, but anything helps. So that's my one ask for today. Whoever is here or seeing this on replay, if you could take a moment to read the free sample, and or ask me for a free sample and write a review, that would be really helpful. Other than that, I'm cheering you on. I'm excited. I'm working with kids, and I was working with a young man last week who's writing a book on like helping the environment. He's a 16-year-old, and he has a following on TikTok or something, and he's writing a book on saving the environment to reduce use of plastic. And I helped him with his book, and he's writing a story about a bee that's gonna save the environment. And I'm just excited. Anyone can do this now. So and
Brilliant.
on. And Susie's book should be ready in time for Christmas. You want to say a word about your book, Susie?
7th of December, God willing, and that all my tech works, because it is quite a daunting task. I'm on edit 8 of my stages. And today, stage 1 took the whole bloody day. I was gobsmacked. so I will have some tips and tricks to not make the mistakes I made, which have slowed me down. So we will talk a little about formatting it right at the beginning. We are going to talk about writing a book proposal right at the beginning, so that in a sense that will guide you and it will set you on the right path, as well as how to upload onto Kindle Create, which I will be doing hopefully on Saturday. So I'll only be as expert as Michael is, in as much as, you know.
Oh, that's soon. This coming Saturday, you're doing that event?
I'm hoping to upload it from Kindle Create to KDP.
Oh, not the event. When's the event though?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, leave that one with me. I will email you all with the link to this video. And thank you so much for coming. Thanks for the amazing questions.
Yes, thank you.
And thank you, Michael, once again. It was
my pleasure. I'm just excited. It took me a long time to I was really attached to traditional publishing, and there's pros and cons to both traditional and self-publishing. It's a business, ultimately a business decision, but I'm excited about self-publishing now. So,
me too. Much happier with it.
Yeah.
Lovely to see you all. You've been very quiet. I hope you're all right, but thank you so much.
Thank you, Susie. Thank you, Michael.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Yes.
Thank you. This was very helpful.
Good. I'm glad. And I'm comfortable sharing this wherever it may share. I think, Susie, did you want to be a little?
It'll be a private link. Not private, because that implies something completely different. This will be a link only, so therefore it won't be on the major. It won't be open to the public. It'll be open to you. And one lady wants to share it with her illustrator, which I think is fine. I think there's so much going on in the world out there electronically. We have to be very careful.
So you don't want me to post the link anywhere? Is that what you're saying?
You can post it, but it depends really. It's up to you, Michael. It's yours. It's just we're all on it, and people are funny, aren't they?
Yeah. Okay. I will be mindful of that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm all
maybe
over
maybe in select private groups.
Absolutely. Select people. And maybe what we could do is trim it, Michael, so that we're not in it. I'll have a look what the video looks like.
Susie, that's what I'm doing with Camtasia. So as soon as it ends, that lets me actually crop. So it only would show what I can take out the audio, I can take out the video. So you and I could work on that together.
Right, lovely. Okay.
Does the chat show up in a recording or not?
It can, but I just save the whole thing as an HTML.
You can just take the video out and just put it over slides or whatever.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah. So we'll see what we can do with it. My lovely M. Kirk, how do I get hold of you to make sure that you get a copy? Are you Melissa?
Did you just friend me on Facebook?
I did, in the hope it was you. That's good. That's fine.
Yep. So then that, yep.
I think I've got everybody, and those that I haven't, from the names, Michael and I will check out. Because we've got 2 groups. We've got Hay House group. We've also got Writers and Healers. If you're not in that, you should be. It's a great, free, lovely community. Do you want me to send you a link, Leslie?
Yes, please.
Okay.
I'm just writing it down.
I'd like that too, please.
Who was that? Aren't you in it, Barbara?
No.
I'll get you in. I'll put you in there then later. I'll invite
there's
you.
another group that there's the Book Whisperers that I'm in, and Women Writing Intentionally, which I guess Michael and Kevin wouldn't be allowed in, but I'm not sure. And they've been doing amazing podcasts with people who have been editors and working in traditional publishing for over 20 years. So I'm gradually getting a lot of information from all over the place.
Good.
And
good.
this is a lot, nothing against Hay House, but this is a lot more reassuring that we don't have to pay someone $6,000 or $7,000 or any of that stuff. We just have to have a budget maybe of going to be having my book edited by Mary Turner Thompson for about $600. The barcodes, I didn't check that price, but the ISBNs are $295. So maybe $1,000 to $1,200 and you're published.
You do want to make sure that you are remembering that people who are working with you do have bills to pay. I'm a book editor, so you know, I when people go, oh, I want it to be cheap, I'm just like, well, I have to pay my bills. So
Of course, yeah.
just to keep that in mind when you're hiring people. Not
You know, Mary
don't
Turner
undermine
Thompson,
people's careers. Yeah.
It's
she,
true.
Anyway, thanks so much, Michael. Those
You're
were fabulous.
welcome. Thank you. Thank you.
Melissa,
Bye.
lovely to chat to you. Lovely to meet you both, and see you all
right,
soon.
let's
Hopefully
call it a
sometime in
day.
November.
Okay.
thanks, bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye
Well
for now.
done.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye.